Can Saiyans survive in outer space? That is the question that is haunting the Dragon Ball community this week and setting everything ablaze. I'm gonna go ahead and give you the right answer, but let me know in the comment section below before you even watch the video what your answer is. And let me know if by the end of the video your answer has changed or you have a rebuttal for my answer.
Prepare yourself, Dan Saiyan.
Dragon Ball Super Chapter 49 is the chapter that is basically making everybody go crazy because everyone is talking about all the times that it seemed like Saiyan characters or Dragon Ball characters were fighting or breathing or surviving, existing in outer space. Now, I want to be showing as little manga panels as possible because Shueisha is still on their bullshit, but I will definitely still get the point across. But before I get into my answer for this question, you guys need a little bit of background story about the chapter itself. Now, this question pops up at the very start of the chapter. Moro is sucking planet Namek dry of energy. He's just eating his fill. And Goku and Vegeta decide to attack him. They're in outer space right now, so they start fighting him along with the Lord of Lords, but they cannot land any punches on him until they finally realize that it's basically a double ganger. It's an after image. It's his magic. That's not actually him. He is way further out in space, controlling this puppet, sucking the planet dry. So Goku attempts to go toward him and fight, but Vegeta stops him and tells him, reminds him that Saiyans cannot survive in outer space. They cannot survive out there in the harshness of this extreme climate. No matter how powerful they are, this is their limit. And I really like that this is the problem, the issue that they're facing, because it almost always feels like they are extremely powerful and they can survive in outer space. They can survive anywhere and they can fight anyone. Like, if you take any of these fighters and face them up against like Marvel or anyone like that from DC, all these versus fights come down to, with these extreme beings, come down to whether the Dragon Ball characters are fighting in an atmosphere or they're fighting in outer space. And as you guys can see right here, Goku and Vegeta are ill-equipped to fight in outer space. Now, let me go through this real quick and I'll give you guys my answer to what is going on in this chapter. So, the Lord of the Lords decides, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and face him on my own, and he attacks Moro. And I guess gotta say, Xenoverse 2 has been going on forever now. And it'll be the year 2025 and we'll still be getting updates and DLC to Xenoverse 2 with no Xenoverse 3 in sight. If that is the case, add this dude into the game or any other Dragon Ball game, because the more enjoyable aspect of this chapter is seeing this guy try to take on Moro on his own, but now realizing that his gimmicky techniques from the Buu side pale in comparison to Moro with all his strength restored. And so the Lord of Lords is losing big time right now, and he needs a win here. So he decides he's going to go ahead and lock up Moro's magic powers yet again, until we realize, nope, can't do it. And this is the explanation that they give, and this is how Oob is going to be introduced in the story finally. I mean, Oob came at the end of Dragon Ball Z, and we haven't heard from him until Dragon Ball Super, well, discounting Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, where they see him kind of just walking around in his own little village because Goku's curious to see what the reincarnation of Kid Buu is doing. So basically what happened is that when the evil part of Buu and the good part of Blue split up, the good part got the physical traits of the Lord of Lords. And it looks like he even got his personality. Actually, it looks like he got some of his memories. Like, it seems like the Lord of Lords basically is sort of still alive in the fat Buu, the good Buu. But the evil Buu got all of the Lord of Lords God power. So God-powered Kid Buu, yeah, that's a real thing. and maybe a discussion for a later video, I don't know. But yeah, he had all of the Lord of Lords' cool god power, and that includes a technique to seal away Moro's power. But when Kid Buu was destroyed, well, there goes the technique. Nobody can seal up Moro. And I just love this line from Vegeta where he talks about gimmicky techniques not working. They were always going to rely on brute force to take down Moro. Yeah, I could see that. At the same time, though, gimmicky techniques is what ends up sort of winning the day at the end of this manga chapter over pure, unadulterated strength. Beerus asks Goku and Vegeta if they can fight Moro and defeat him, and they tell them, yeah, in Super Saiyan Blue, only one of them really would take down Moro. That's how powerful their Super Saiyan Blue is. It just, before they didn't know that he was kind of absorbing their energy, so now they know that, so they're not going to be trying to waste all these energy attacks. More than likely, they'll just go to him hand to hand and try to keep their energy from being stolen. So Beerus is like, you know what? Alright, that's fine. I'm going to bring him back to planet Namek. And he puts on his little spacesuit and jumps up, flying toward Moro, gets him with that little gummy attack, grabs his hand, and distracts Moro. Tells the Lord of Lords, hey, I'm going to go ahead and bring this guy to planet Namek. When the time is right, make sure you teleport him back. And of course, Lord of Lord agrees with this plan. And we get, by far, the best reason why Beerus is one of the best characters, the best new characters in Dragon Ball, because he is not powerful. He is not extremely strong. He is devious. He's got tactics and gimmicky techniques, because he does basically the Gon versus Hisoka thing, where he distracts him long enough to try to get the upper hand, and he actually throws a rock just like Gon did, and this rock distracts Moro enough where Beerus jumps up with his jetpack boosters on his feet and blasts him right in the face, blinding him temporarily, because obviously, you know, that's gonna hurt his eyeballs. And then the Lord of Lords teleports him back to planet Namek. Goku and Vegeta meet him there, and Moro's actually happy to be back because he's got one more wish. Overall, there's not much to say besides the fact that the Dragon Ball Super manga is killing it right now. It is by far one of my favorite mangas to date. One of my favorite stories that I've ever seen in Dragon Ball, and this chapter was just so awesome, and Toyotaro is doing a great job with this storyline. But we get back to the original issue. Now, if you made it through the entire review of the chapter, I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. You guys will get a special mention in the comment section below. And if you guys tell me that you did make it to this part of the video, then I will definitely heart your comment. But now we get to the meat and potatoes of this video. Can Saiyans survive in outer space? So the two moments that a lot of people are citing as to whether the Saiyans can survive in outer space or not, and that this is sort of a retcon kind of, is Bardock in outer space and Super Saiyan God Goku versus Beerus. Now, in the manga, it explains exactly where Super Saiyan God Goku and Beerus were fighting, and that is the stratosphere. Now, the stratosphere is a portion of the Earth's layer, like the next portion, above the troposphere, that you can actually get very close to and still survive. Actually, it's not that much further than the peak of Mount Everest, and people have gone to the peak of Mount Everest and survived there with gas masks and air packs and everything like that. So the place that Goku and Beerus fight, the manga explains Goku can survive out there. And it looks like they're using the same exact logic when it comes to this Dragon Ball Super manga chapter. Because at the very start of it, it almost seems like they're in outer space. Goku and Beerus and the Lord of Lords trying to fight the Moro After Image until they realize, no, he's way further out. And when Goku tries to go out there, Vegeta reminds him, no, you cannot go out there. This is probably the farthest that we can go. And yeah, you can essentially, with the right tools, survive in the stratosphere. I would imagine that because these are Saiyans, it's Goku and Vegeta, different biology, more powerful, then yeah, they definitely can survive out there a lot better than you and I. But that is the explanation that we get in the original Dragon Ball Super manga. I believe that was in the very first arc of the Dragon Ball Super manga, the Battle of Gods arc. Now, the same can be said about Bardock, because even if you want to discount the original special, which I wouldn't do that, but whatever, you want to discount the original special, in Dragon Ball Super Broly, Bardock still gets destroyed in the same sort of manner as he did in the special, facing off against Frieza, and then Frieza destroys him with the Death Ball. And so you can imagine that the same scenario is still in play. He's still in the stratosphere, and he wants to take down Frieza. This would make sense why he didn't just go flying toward Frieza, trying to fight him hand to hand, because he probably couldn't. That's the reason he threw one last energy blast to try to get him from his position. So it seems like Bardock was never really that close to Frieza. He was stuck in the stratosphere as far as he could go, and he tried to get Frieza from long distance, but it didn't happen. It didn't work. But that's the explanation that we get from Dragon Ball Super's manga. Let me know in the comments below if I changed your idea of this being a thing, or do you have a way to debunk me? I don't know. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching at least this far into the video, but watching the video in general. If you like my content, make sure to hit that like button. The like is essential. Subscribe if you haven't. This is going to be Blackscape signing off. Take care, guys.